My name is Mark Simpson, and I'm one of the founders of IPD. I surf because it's the best thing in the world to do. For me, it just gives me peace. It gives me happiness, and when I'm out in the water, you feel everything else kind of fades away, you know. And so for me, I've never once paddled out and felt worse when I came in, regardless of how the waves are. It just feels good to be part of the ocean.
My name is Ty Burgess. I surf for IPD because it's a low-key company that I think has a lot of potential, but I just hope brands keep it core and they don't blow up and make it too corporate.
Yeah, I think the threats to surf culture from like a business side is just kind of losing the soul of it. I mean, the surf brands should be ran by surfers and kind of developed by surfers. I mean, it sounds cliche, but a lot of these bigger brands are kind of owned by massive corporate companies, and a lot of people within the brands don't really live the surf culture lifestyle.
Surf companies should be run by surfers and support local surf shops. IPD's dream is to build the best surf brand they can while remaining true to the community. The important thing is that the company is run by people who know and love surfing in the ocean. Surfing was introduced to the coast of California in the late 1800s. Surfing embodied the youthful, rebellious, pioneering spirit of California. Communities grew around surfing up and down the coast. Small surf shops who knew their local breaks became ambassadors of their activity. California surf culture was born.
Surfing history is crazy because it goes back a long ways. But to me, surfing culture really first started in the 50s. Southern California really was kind of the hotbed of where the surfing culture first started. Throughout all of it, there's been this underlying wave of surf culture of people that don't want to be in the contest. They don't do all that. They just surf for the love of it.
No matter the surfer you ask, the attraction of riding a wave boils down to one element: fun. In the absence of that, it loses its authenticity.
My last job was with Hurley International from day one. When that got to a certain size, wasn't as much fun as when it was smaller. And so a group of friends and I decided to start our own program and deal with not so much the mass markets and deal with more of just like the core endemic surf shops.
There's definitely hardships and places where you get stretched thin and stressful times, and especially, just making ends meet and kind of succeeding. I mean, it's tough as a startup, but I mean, that's kind of why we all wanted to do it. We could have worked somewhere else and just collected the paycheck, but we want to build this thing up and really see it flourish.
Truthfully, even though we're doing really, really well, cash flow is always a stressful thing because you're constantly paying to play. You're paying to buy these clothes before you sell them. You're basically loaning your money out to be able to run your business. The cash flow is the single biggest challenge. Secondary challenge would be just getting your brand name out there.
Today, surfing is overrun by large corporations, exploiting its attractive culture. This is sucking the soul out of an activity that began as a pure connection between man and nature, and the authenticity and purity of the surf industry. Far and few surf brands are striving to maintain what it's all about, and promoting surfing for the right reasons. IPD, a small core surf brand based in California, is at the forefront of the movement.
I've probably been involved in the surf community and especially the industry kind of since birth, since my dad's had a surf shop. I think the main element vital to maintaining surf culture is surfing. The culture should be driven by the people actually surfing, and if that ever stops, we're screwed. The more brands like getting into these massive chains, selling online for like super dirt cheap, that just hurts like surf shops trying to make a sale. So I think that would be the biggest threat is if we ever like ran out of surf shops.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people have asked us like, what's our goal with IPD? What are we trying to get to? Because the surf industry has become such a huge inflated business machine that it's kind of lost sight of its past, which is to me the surf shop. So our goal when people ask us, hey, how big do you guys want to be? Too big is if we have to compromise our distribution in order to reach a revenue target. We want to be the very best surf brand out there and still have a sense of being unique and being very special because you can only find it at surf shops, which to me are like the true temples of Stoke.
IPD has a lot of great qualities to the brand itself, but one of the biggest virtues of the brands, I'd say, is how much they support brick and mortar retail stores, surf shops in general.
I think another thing that makes IPD a bit different, and especially for like the ambassadors and athletes, is you're going to be on our platform, and as we grow, you're going to grow with the company. And I think one thing we specialize in a lot is putting surfers in certain regions on a pedestal in their community. So when we go over to Surfside Sports, like, I could have put a photo of like a guy from Hawaii on the poster, but I put Ty because he works there and he's in the community, and everyone that walks into Surfside knows Ty. Then a lot of brands will kind of just put their most well-known guy on all the posters, where we want to put like the local heroes and like underground guys.
Fuck yeah.
Right now, our biggest differentiation is grassroots efforts, which a lot of the big brands have kind of really moved away from. When I first started, the coolest thing to do was for a company to throw a backyard party and have a band play and have skate ramps and have a bunch of kids getting together and just being, you know, sort of a community. And then the industry really moved away from that. So our biggest point of differentiation right now is actually going back to those grassroots events. For instance, a few weeks ago, we had a party at our workplace. There was probably 300 or 400 kids there, skate ramps, exactly the thing that I grew up on. And a lot of the kids that were there had never seen anything like it before, because it was really special to us, and I would hate to see that go away.
Yeah, boys, yeah, boys, yeah, boys!